Hey, everybody. Good afternoon. Pat Ziemer here with MagnaWave for the Tuesday edition of the MagnaWave office hours. We're glad to be here with you. We try to come to you every Tuesday, myself or Elaine or one of our business associates, and to visit with you and talk about questions, answer your questions, discuss whatever it may be, treatments, machines, training, whatever it is. We want to be here to answer your questions. We're excited to be here today, again, to do that, just to answer your questions. If you have a question for me and you'd like to visit, send me a text to 502-414-3436. 502-414-3436. I'll call you back and we can have a conversation about whatever it is you would like to discuss with regard to MagnaWave. Hazel's with us this morning. Good morning, Hazel on Castbox. We're always glad for Hazel to be with us. We got a Facebook user with us. Tracy's with us this morning. Northern Lights. Trinity's with us. Johnson's Equine is with us this morning. And Wendy is here this morning, this afternoon, depending where you are around the country. We're happy to be here to answer your questions. Please share this broadcast with your friends, so if they have questions, we can get those answered as well, and they may want to catch up on what's going on also. So let's take a look here and see some business to take care of with some things going on. The video books are in. You know, we've been working on these video books for some time, and they're in and they're available. They come equipped with 4 different videos. They can be personalized for your company and for your practice, so people can certainly get a hold of you, and the videos come with them, or you can supply customized videos that you produce or we produce for you into the video books. And when it's all said and done, we'll have video books on equine, large animals, meaning cattle and so forth, small animals, and then down the road, we'll have other applications of the video books. They're perfect if you go to see someone, new client, new customer, drop a video book off, show it to them, let their maybe their customer or whoever it is, while you're treating the horse or the animal, let them have a look at the video book while you're there, and they can gain some insight at that particular time. You can leave it with them, go back and pick it up the next day, giving you an opportunity to have a couple of touches with these people and to just allow you to have more authority and more credibility in your business as you're going forward. So the video books are excellent. We're very happy to have them available for you. They're $300, available only to certified practitioners. And so again, they can be personalized, comes preloaded with 4 videos. So also, we have the MagnaWave holiday cards available that you can send to your customers, drop off with your customers. They also can be personalized with your information for your business, and to also help highlight the MagnaWave process that you use with your business. If you want them personalized, the orders must be submitted by December the 5th. That's coming up on us rapidly with this being Thanksgiving week. So if you want some personalized cards, December the 5th is the time you need to order by. MagnaCon 2022 tickets are on sale as we speak. And if you order those tickets prior to January 1st, you can save $100 on the tickets. Now, we've told you we're going to change locations, and we're very excited about where it looks like we're going to go, but we're waiting for the block of rooms to be set aside so we can really start talking about MagnaCon 2022 and the Ohio River and the proximity and all of that kind of stuff. So if you're looking forward to coming to MagnaCon 2022, get your tickets now. They are available, $100 off between now and January the 1st. And as you know, this will be the last in-person MagnaCon in Louisville until 2024. In 2023, we're going to do a series of regional shows, regional events. So maybe some folks that have been unable to attend MagnaCon in Louisville will be able to join us in a regional kind of atmosphere. So that's what's going to take place in 2023. And then we're back in Louisville for an additional MagnaCon in 2024. So get your tickets today, and then hopefully in the next week or so, we'll have the room block available so you can book your rooms for this upcoming MagnaCon. So that looks like that's all of the personal business that I need to take care of. today. Let's go over here now and have a look at some questions that are available to us that have been made available, and we will certainly address those. Again, if you'd like to talk with me personally, send a text with your name and question, if you will, to 502-414-3436. 502-414-3436. I'll give you a call back and we can have some holiday cheer or whatever. But we look forward to visiting with you as well. Kathy's with us. Jessica's with us. Trinity is with us this morning. Maureen, good morning, Maureen. Thank you for being with us. It's always fun to be together. And a lot of folks on this morning. And those of you listening on CastBox, they'll put the CastBox link also into the board. So if you want to try out CastBox and listen there, you can do that. It's more like a radio presentation as opposed to a video that you can only get on Facebook or YouTube, whatever the situation may be. If you have a question also, simply put it in the chat box on Facebook or YouTube, and I'll certainly jump right on it and answer your question there as well. Okay, let's see. I've got some questions. Let me pull these questions up here that I've come across. Let's see. Does PEMF support tendon injury repair? Sadie asked that question. Most certainly. PEMF promotes the body to be in a better state to heal itself. That's basically what we do, is we help the body have good oxygenated blood, good blood flow to the area, good nutrition in the blood where the blood can accept the better proteins or the proteins that are best available to it and can be very beneficial to the healing of the body. And that narrows down to whatever you're talking about or looking at. And so certainly it depends. With a tendon, quite often you have a bruised tendon, or you have hyperextended, or you have a tear, or if it's severed, you know, all the difficult or the amount of injury certainly has an effect on how well something can aid in the recovery or the healing of that type of situation. But most certainly, PEMF does support injury repair to those areas by setting the body up. It helps relieve the inflammation in the area where there's a tendon injury. If you can reduce the inflammation, you can reduce the pain. If you can reduce the pain and reduce the inflammation, you're setting the area up to heal itself in a more rapid fashion. The bottom line here is the more rapidly you get to these areas of injury, the better and the more quickly you will see the results that you're looking for as far as the healing processes. So Sadie, most certainly PEMF is very beneficial to tendon repair, cartilage, the whole 9 yards. We've got a lot of anecdotal evidence out there. There's a lot of studies that have been done. We're doing more and more things all the time to get deeper into being able to actually have documentation as to what's happening to the body with these types of injuries. Okay, can MagnaWave help neuropathy in dogs? MagnaWave has been shown to be very beneficial with neuropathic types of conditions, and certainly, again, what it does. Now, the thing about neuropathy, quite often it's the deadening of the nerves in the hands, the feet, the hoof, the paws, wherever the situation is, there's something causing that. It can be something anatomical. It can be a chemical imbalance in the body. It could be a diabetic type of situation in the animal, whatever causes those type situations for them to be there, that allows these blood vessels and the nerves in the tips of the paws or the feet or wherever it may be to atrophy, to have a problem. Again, the more rapidly or the sooner you get at those situations, the better your results are going to be. But if it's not totally to the point to where there is dead tissue, totally necrotic tissue that is not going to regenerate or not going to basically rebound and heal itself, it's harder. But on the surface, to look at being able to help the blood flow and the circulation and the oxygenation and the nutrients to the area done in the proper fashion at the proper time, MagnaWave could be very beneficial to neuropathy in your dogs, small animals, and so forth. So it's there. There are, again, many studies that have been done over the years showing the benefits of PEMF with a neuropathy type of situation. You can take a look at those, look at the AOPP. They're dealing with those types of things all the time. And that, just quickly before we go on, if you're not a member of AOPP, please become a member of AOPP, because it's just a good support group for anybody in the PEMF world, so they can have camaraderie together. So we can kind of, the whole basis of the AOPP is to kind of be a clearinghouse, if you will, a place that you can have some understanding that you're not hearing what I say or what somebody else says or what somebody else says. It's a clearinghouse of information, kind of a self-regulatory body. They're working on accreditation for the testing. There will be a time that you can take our courses that we have available to you to learn about small animals and large animals and humans and so forth, and then go take a test accordingly to gain some certification, so you can show someone that you've taken these types of classes and you've done this. It's inevitable that at some point in time, as we go down the road, we're seeing more and more of it. The regulatory boards are starting to understand and recognize PEMF, and they're asking questions, and they're wanting to know, what is the training? As you know, a lot of racetracks today require some form of clarification as far as education. If you want to go to a racetrack and work with a veterinarian, or go to a racetrack where you're allowed to go and perform your services on your own, they're wanting some kind of certification or some kind of notification of education that you've done, that you do have a standard of education. So those days are coming, and it's just best to be aware of that and to be up on that. The AOPP is a great place to go to do that, to be together, and to help support the industry. Check that out, if you will. Okay, how do you explain how MagnaWave works and what causes the pulsing in some areas, but not in other areas? And they go on in a language that clients can understand. Well, basically what's happening, it's pretty easy to think this through. If you have an area on the body, let's just say in the hip of a horse, and they've pulled an area or they've stressed a particular area, they get a clumping, if you will. It's called rolou, where they get a clumping potentially of blood cells. Maybe there's a bruise, maybe there's a muscle stretch, or just muscle soreness from the activity that they're doing. As you move the coil over the hip of the animal, let's just say you're using the butterfly. The larger the coil, you're going to stimulate more tissue. So you can take I'm getting ahead of myself, but you can use the large coil, put it on the hip of an animal, turn the machine up, and get movement. You can create movement. You're creating a massaging effect on the soft tissue, on the body, as you're doing that. So you can create that movement. Now, if you turn the machine down a little bit, and let's say you use a smaller loop, the butterfly, the paddle, something that's not doing a whole great big large area of tissue, but a smaller area. And so as I've just said, maybe this horse has a sensitive spot or a stressed muscle in the area of its hip, and you're moving this coil over that area, and all of a sudden you get where the stress is, you'll get a palpitation, because the signal's going down, getting some resistance. It works much like an MRI machine. When you get into an MRI machine, to have an MRI, now again, they're different the way they're applied, but it's very similar in that the MRI sends this magnetic field into the body that scans basically through the body, where it comes across these areas of irregularity, whatever it may be, a tumor or a break or a pull or whatever the strain may be. It gets there and it sends what I'm going to call a reverberation, but it sends this signal back to the screen that they can see, oh, it's right there. It's this big. It's caused by this. We need to do this to fix that. They have it. Now, the difference is our signals are pulsed. So our signals go very deep into the tissue, and they go down there. And when they hit an area of sensitivity or an area of resistance, it comes back as a reverberation. So you see it on the surface. Again, just like if you went to a massage therapist and they're working your back or your hips or whatever it may be, they're doing it and you're feeling it. Here, we're doing it and it's coming back to us in the form of a reverberation. That's why you can take the butterfly loop and go down across the hips of a horse, for example, and you're here and you got nothing. You move over here 2 inches, you got a palpitation. You drop down an inch, you got nothing. You come over here, you got more. In some cases, you can follow the area of the stress in the soft tissue and see maybe where it's originating from or where it's going. And so that's what it is. That's the difference. Where there is resistance, you get a picture back or a reverberation back. But remember, you can use the larger loop, even the small loop. You turn the machine up, you will cause movement because you're putting that energy, you're massaging that energy into the tissue so you will have movement. The scan process that I always talk about is at a nice moderate setting, move it across the body, and you can help find areas of sensitivity on these animals. It was always fun when I'd get with a veterinarian back in the beginning. I'd be doing things and they'd say, okay, go do that horse. And then I'd go do that horse and I'd come back and they'd say, okay, where were the issues? And I'd say, well, he had some sensitivity in this part of the hip, or he had sensitivity in the sacral area, or as I came down on the glutes, there was some sensitivity down low on the glutes and da-da-da-da-da-da. And they'd say, yeah. How does it do that? I say, okay, here's what it does. We go in and have that conversation, and it would be easy for them to understand. So sensitivity or resistance causes something to come back that we can look at and see. And if you move away from that area, it's not there. That's why you can put this on a small animal, or a young animal, a young horse that's not having any issues and nothing going on. You could turn the machine up pretty well, put it over the body, and nothing happens because they're healthy. They got no stress in those areas, and the signal just passes right through. And so that's, I used to say, boy, I can count on one hand the number of horses that I did when I was on the road that I got nothing from, that they were in perfect, as far as what I could see, perfect position as far as their soft tissue and so forth. I can literally, I sit here and try to think of that. Just a few horses that I ever treated in the thousands of horses in my travels around the United States and in many cases around the world that I can say I got no visible response from the animals. But that's what it is. Resistance causes reverberation, which gives you the visual picture at the surface. Move away from that area and you won't have that. And then you want to get into the whole situation of diagonally. Is it hip to the shoulder? Is it coming from the neck to the shoulder? Where's it going to and where's it coming from? The more you do it, the more you learn about how to understand that and explain that to your customers. Okay, let's see. How can MagnaWave help horses during the cold months? Well, certainly good blood flow. When I was in the service and on guard duty or on exercise in the wintertime in Missouri, it was amazing. I remember one night I was doing overnight guard duty and it was like 18 below. And how did I stay and keep warm? I moved everything. I mean, I would stand there and do my hands. I would do this with my arms. I would do knee bends. I'd do anything I could do to keep the blood flow going in a fashion that would heat up my core and heat so I could be warmer as I was there for my period of duty at that point in time. So when we're doing this to the animals, we're doing a very similar type situation. We're improving the oxygenation. We're improving the blood flow. We are pushing the blood as we go so we can help the horses. Basically, they stay pretty warm anyway, just for the way they're made and what's going on. But this can help them have good blood flow and be better. I've got a video, and I believe if you search it on the website, go to the testimonials and the various videos. I did a video, gosh, her name's escaping me, but and we talked about from Canada. Oh boy, it'll come to me in a minute. But anyway, talking about we did a whole office hours and a whole webinar dealing with how to help the animals in the cold with the PEMF, with the MagnaWave, and that certainly is available to you to aid the animals in staying warm and comfortable during the cold months. Great question. And there are techniques and there are things you can do to help the animals be comfortable in those type of situations and times. Let's look here and see if we've had any contact and calls here. Lelaini sent me some information. She was talking about GoldWowie being used in conscious hoofbeats with Dr. Pamela. I think I'll give her a ring here and see what happened there with that and have a little bit of that conversation. Again, if you have a question, send me the question via text, 502-414-3436, and then I can call you back just like this, and we can have a conversation. So I got Lelaini. Maybe she's available for us.
Aloha.
Aloha. How are you?
Good, Pat. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Getting ready to have some Thanksgiving happiness going on here.
There we go. Thank you for having us before we all go into that big old luau, right?
That's it. That's it. So you were just featured in the Conscious Hoofbeats magazine with Dr. Pamela. Tell us about that.
Yeah, it was actually with Dr. Pam Maynard. It was a podcast, and basically the misconceptions of, different holistic treatments. And one of the big misconceptions, as you all know, is, using CBD, just a whole, what is CBD, correct? Versus, cannabis and marijuana, and how do we use it with equine? And so just moving to Aiken, where it's pretty much the horse capital of the world, a lot of the even the vets I'm speaking to now are kind of like, yeah, can you educate us? So I'm like, sure.
Well, that's great. That's great.
So they can go to Spotify and listen to it's an hour long, but it really goes into a lot of the detail.
Good. So what's the title?
It's Hoofbeats and Conscious Hoofbeats podcast, and that's with Dr. Pamela.
Okay. Perfect. So
and you can find it on Spotify, or they can also DM me, it's the MagnaWave Ohana family, and I can, send it a link to them. But really, just talks about how to use CBD and how to dose your horse, your dog, exotic animal, whatever is their thing correctly, right? Because it's really about the product, and I think that was really exciting because they had no clue.
Great. Well, that's wonderful. I've talked on the program here a couple of times lately about how I messed up my left knee recently. It's been about 7 weeks ago now, and pulled my medial MCL, and I had it ultrasounded, had a bad bruise, bad inflammation, and I was treating myself regularly, and I was over it much more rapidly than what the doctor thought I was going to be. But I also used your roll-on nightly and occasionally during the day, and it was very beneficial to relieve the pain and help me feel better and deal with a day in and day out type situation of that type of injury. So it was cool.
Exactly. And it's a lot coming from you. And, I try to tell people, look, I'm not here to sell you a product. I'm here to sell you another holistic modality. And as you and I know, the reason I purchased my MagnaWave machine, the reason I reached out to you is the fact that I wanted to find a modality that could pulse in the CBD, which goes into two main receptors, right? The CB1 and the CB2, because there's a system that runs through all mammals, whether you're a dog, a human, or, an exotic tiger. And that's called the endocannabinoid system.
Correct.
So when I found out that your machine was, could go to 16 inches, go through bone, could get the blood oxygenated, could really, make the blood move and become alive again, the light bulb went off that this is the perfect way to not just take a supplement, but have this machine help me to do that.
Great.
And I think that's a lot of the guys are seeing right now. It's another way to sell the machine, because it's just inside and outside, right? It's not just using the machine, but taking like blood doo-doo, right? Supplements and, using the C60 that we have that I love so much. Another reason why I love MagnaWave. You always kind of pick the best supplements so we can take it internally and then use the machine.
There you go. Well, that's great. So if they want to know more, they can go to GoldWowie.com.
Yeah, definitely. If they have any questions, and I'll look forward to, working with you, Pat, as we've been talking about, and, just help educating people and, getting everybody wave on to better health, my friend.
There you go. There you go. Hey, Lelaini, thank you for happy Thanksgiving to you. Thank to you and everybody. Have a great time.
You and your family too.
Bye-bye. Okay, so that was interesting, and I used their topical roll-on. It was very beneficial when I injured my knee, and I'm glad that I got able to do that. Now we have some questions. Let me come over here. Let's see. Let me get in good place. Trinity's with us. I said Wendy. Colorado. Jessica's with us. Kathy's with us. Get your tickets. Need to do a regional event in Chicago. I think Chicago or the Chicago area will probably be on our schedule. Maureen, we're working that. When using LZR on eyes, do you recommend to keep the eyes open or closed when treating humans? Keep the eyes closed. The LZR is not a laser, but it is very bright. And I don't know what, you don't want to do that. You want to keep your eyes closed. You don't have to wear special glasses or anything like that with the LZR because it is not a laser. But you can, as you know, a lot of folks have used the LZR if they're having stress issues or PTSD or those types of things as a general wellness type of product just to help good overall well-being or that type of feeling. Is they'll put the device right up on the forehead for 30 seconds, and then over each ear that the hair's not covering, the ear's covering the ear, but earmuffs, don't do that, but put it right over the ear for 15 or 20 seconds. And it's amazing how it just relaxes you, helps change the stressful situation that you may be feeling. Folks with PTSD have found some wonderful result, depression, so forth, by utilizing that. You can also place it because it doesn't, how do I say this? It will penetrate the bone and allow the light, the refraction to penetrate into the brain area of the body. You can, years ago, I worked with a product that it was a nostril deal that put a red light up into the skull, Vilite it was called. And a lot of people use that similar type of situation, kind of like the brain tap. People will use the brain tap to put the little goggles, the lights there, very relaxing, sets you in a state of mind that you can listen to the music or listen to the instructions on the brain tap to have something going on. But to go back to your question, eyes closed, what I do, and of course, here we go. I don't want to talk about, at 25, I look pretty good, don't you think? No, but anyway, one of the things that I do, and I do it maybe 3 times a week, is I'll take the LZR and I'll place it right over. I'll close my eyes and I'll place it right over. It's quite bright. It's not so bright that I can't do it, and I'll run it for a minute, and I'm using that to penetrate deep, basically deep, to keep things moving, keep things flowing, so I can remember my name in the morning and and go forward in that type situation. But to answer your question, keep your eyes closed if you're using the LZR on the eyes of the front of the head. Let's see, coming back up here, I want to make sure. Okay. I want to get these in the proper order. French Bulldog had corneal graft 2 weeks ago to save his eye and had an ulcerated cornea. Any success with PEMF? Again, you want to deal with the veterinarian here, but to talk about using, holding the coil, you could put on an animal, you could just about put it over its head and let it come this way to give good circulation, good blood flow to those areas on the animal to help them be more comfortable, to keep inflammation from occurring. And it'll keep inflammation from occurring in the eye as well as it will anywhere else. Now, of course, you've got to be cognizant of the skull area and so forth. So you don't want to use it high, but I would take the apparatus and hold it right up to the head, right near the area, treat it very low, and it'll be there. You can understand how it might feel by doing the same to yourself. So when you have it very low, you'll be able to feel some of the twitching. So you'll understand you want to do that same type of thing to your dog or to the dog that you're working with to help get the good blood flow to the area and things heal. Always work with the veterinarian, explain what you do so they can understand what's going on, and they'll give you the green light, yes or no, and that's how you want to always operate in that type of realm. Can PEMF aid in ulcers or colic, internal mid-cavity treatments? Most certainly. A lot of folks have had benefits and seen a relief in situations of colic, to where it's a blockage, it's a gas buildup, or it's a blockage in the bowel, and you want to move things along. Just imagine if someone was a bit constipated and you could massage the area to help move things along. We've seen wonderful results on those types of issues when it comes to colic in horses. Certainly, if there's a twist or a binding or some kind of tear or something like that knotting up, we're not going to do anything. You don't want to do anything. That's always a veterinary type situation. You check with the veterinarian and treat accordingly. But it can most certainly help relieve gas, help move along a blockage. You also want to treat the whole area of the intestines, and then the rump and the rectal area, because a lot of times it just gets to there and it doesn't go any further, and you got to help massage it along, if you will. With regard to the ulceratic inflammation in the gut, certainly what's going to happen if you treat that overall horse, that good oxygenated blood is going to go to the gut area of the animal and hopefully help the situation. So you always want to deal with that. And so it could be helpful and beneficial with ulcers or colic, but again, always check with your veterinarian. Good morning from California, Sandy. Thanks. Glad you're with us. My 29-year-old horse was diagnosed with grade 4 ulcers and is being treated with GastroGuard and sucralfate. Sucralfate grade 4 means some bleeding ulcers. How soon can I use MagnaWave on him? He was without MagnaWave for 3 months prior to this diagnosis due to the COVID delays with shipping and so forth. Okay, Tammy, in that type situation, they're giving Ulcer Guard. They're doing, again, check with your veterinarian, but you don't necessarily have to treat the exact area of the ulcer if the ulcer is bleeding. You don't want to, by improving blood flow, we don't increase blood pressure, but we can improve blood flow. So if there's active bleeding, it could retard the slowdown of the bleeding or so forth. But if you overall treat the animal, treat around the area, that good oxygenated blood that will help the situation heal and maybe stop bleeding is something that could be considered by the veterinarian in this type of case. But we've had a lot of situations where you have animals that are on the Ulcer Guard or the various products that are available, that they get it coats the area, and then you try to give the good oxygenation and the blood flow to the area to help speed along the healing process as it sets the body up to better heal itself. Hope that helps. Okay, Kathy says it works with her neuropathy, and it worked with mine. No question. I had what my doctor called an age-related neuropathy. Okay, and but it was aggravating me. I mean, it was incredible, and I just began to treat myself every day, 2 or 3 times a day. And just continuing to do it. And I did my legs and my feet. And now it's been, I'm going to say it's been almost 1.5 years, 2 years. I was taking medication for the pain and the burning sensation and the itching that burning would cause, and to where it's been 1.5 years, and I really don't treat it, but I do treat my rear and my legs for prostate care, and that's just nourishing my legs, and that blood goes to my feet. And it's been a long time since I've had any issue at all with the neuropathy in my feet, because as I pointed out, a damn doctor talked about age-related neuropathy. That's bad enough. All right. Fighting off the flu this morning with the help of my semi hot tea with Hydrowave and Vicks on my feet. I'll be better by tomorrow. Absolutely, Maureen, you will be better. You'll be feeling much better by tomorrow. Let's see. Loria is happy Thanksgiving from Wisconsin, and it is that time of year. Let's see here. John asked a question. I injured my stomach muscles doing something silly with a heavy pull downs a month ago. Hurt again Sunday, back to square one. Is your experience that these injuries take a long time to heal? If you did it a long time ago, John, and it was getting better, and then you've redone it, sometimes it gets to a situation that's a little harder to get through it. But anytime you have something like that it's like an MCL on your knee. I mean, you have the same thing as your stomach muscles. You use your stomach, you use it all the time, and so it's not like you can just quit using your stomach muscles and let it sit for 2-3 weeks and you'll be fine. You got to get up, you got to go, you got to work, you lift this, you move that. And so you take one step forward today and 2 steps back tomorrow because you went and did something. I just had that with my knee. I've treated it continually to want to not have 3 months of problems. I wanted a month and a half of problems, which is about where I am with it. And it's just all but and I've said this before, my problem is when I sleep, because when you lay on your side or you lay on your back, that puts pressure on the bend of your knee or the angle of your knee. And that's when it feels bad to me at this point in time. So I treat it through the night. So when I get up in the morning, it's that way. John, I would say that you want to, number one, limit your movement as best you can, certainly, but it could take some time if it's a re-injury, because what happens is, even though it's muscle tissue and so forth, it was injured, it thinks it's going to scar, it's going to bruise up, it's going to do this. So now it might take a little more time to get down the road and get after it. I hope that helps. Thanks for all. Sorry I did that. Sorry you're having that issue. If I hope it gets better quickly. Tried the GoldWowie on my horse for cribbing last night, and he stopped cribbing. Amazing. There you go, Kathy. Thanks for sharing that. Let's see. How do I treat a boil? LZR or MagnaWave or both? You answered your own question. The LZR is very beneficial to those types of situations to help close things up. The MagnaWave will do the flow if it needs to burst or it needs to get pushed out. The MagnaWave can be very beneficial to that, and then come back with the LZR. Either way, LZR first, MagnaWave second. Just work it. But the two of them are very different types of therapies, both trying to accomplish the same thing, to promote the healing, to promote the feeling of the area. So I would work with both. Great question, Lisa. Okay, they put the link to Dr. Pamela's Conscious Hoofbeat podcast, so you can listen to that and see how that goes. Okay, Tammy said thank you, and wishing everyone, Kim wishes everyone a happy Thanksgiving. No other questions there. Let's see if someone has sent something to the telephone. Nope, nothing else there. If you want to visit with me, perhaps somebody could call us and we could have a little conversation here about, how do I approach this? It's amazing to me when I read some of the posts on the Facebook page and some of the emails that I receive. And someone said to me last week, I was at the Florida office for MagnaWave at the Seahorse studio and offices down there. And one of the people in the community that I know, we were talking, and they happen to have horses there in the dressage. In their dressage discipline, and this person was saying, well, you appear that you're more concerned about helping someone than selling machines, and I sell machines. That's what we do. And so, but I often have said to you, I got my first horses by helping people feel better that rode the animals as a demonstration, to demonstrate the product. And I sit back and I think that here we are almost many years, 17 years later or so, and it's just amazing to me at how people and the testimonial that the young lady with our CRM company, KEAP, wrote about helping people get into business and nourishing them and helping them build their businesses. It's just, I have everything, all of us here at MagnaWave have everything to be thankful for by helping you be successful in your business, by helping you be successful with your animals, just taking care of your animals with your devices. And it's very rewarding, and it is something for me to be thankful for Debbie to be thankful for, and Elaine and Gabe, and all of our folks at MagnaWave. I could go down, I got it right here, I could go down the list. There's Briley and Joanne, Shannon, Tyrone, Teresa, Stephanie, Emily, Tony, Chris B, Stephanie, Lee, Cameron, Marissa, Jessica, Sean, Jamie, Tim, Jack, Grace, Onan, Garrett, Lauren, Art, Tiffany, Aaron, Jess, Carson, and you. We're so thankful that you're there with us, and we wish you a very happy Thanksgiving, very good holiday season going forward. I'm not going away yet. We still got a few minutes, but if I don't get any questions, I'm not going to hang all day long. So really, thank you for being with us, and we look forward to being with you. Don't forget MagnaCon coming up. It's a good time. Come see us. We'll enjoy it very much. A lot of happy things, a lot of big things going on with MagnaCon this year. You're going to really like it. How quickly can improvement be expected when treating eczema? My client has eczema over his whole body. His primary symptom is itching. I've done 2 treatments so far within 4 days, and we'll do another tomorrow. Wow, that's a great question. I remember when a few years ago, there was an issue with shingles in the family. And so we started treating, and of course there's medications, there's topicals, there's pills that you can take. If you've had chickenpox, you're very not likely, but you could have shingles. And I should tell you a story. I might tell you, but at any rate, we got relief using the MagnaWave over the area of the infection. Now, eczema is a bit different. It is an internally dictated type of situation. So certainly there's medications, there's topicals, there's stuff they can take. But to utilize the MagnaWave over the area should be able to provide some relief to the itching. It can systemically help whatever they're doing. If you're doing a topical, get pushed into the area potentially more effectively to help relieve the situation. How soon? I think you were talking about 2 treatments so far within 4 days. I would treat it, if I had the capability or if it were available, convenient to the customer, every day. And every day if you can. Because that's something that you treat it today, and you don't treat it for 2 days, it's right there again, and it's still going. It's not quitting until it gets finished or not going, whatever the situation may be. So consistency and regularity is the key in that type situation. I think you can find some relief immediately, but the more you do it, the better off it's going to be. So I would say, I would recommend in that situation, when we had the situation with the shingles, it was treated twice a day, every day for 5 or 6 days until we could get the medication doing what it was going to do and happen there. So there you go. Hope that helps. Let's see. When should you treat a stock dog before they run in a cattle or sheep trial, before or after? Okay, I'm going to make a couple of assumptions here. A dog is probably no different in that type of situation than a horse. I learned very quickly that every horse is different. And so where some horses could be treated the day of the race, others needed to be treated the day before the race to get the best result. So to have a blanket situation, and in this case, treat the dog before or after. Certainly you want the horse to have good range of motion. You want him to have good lung capacity, so he can do his job longer. I've told you the story about the people coming over from Dubai wanting their camels to run as fast as, and I said, can't really make your camels run faster. I can help them run fast longer by improving their lung capacity, by improving their blood flow, their oxygenation to their body. So it's the same type situation. If you want that animal to be able to do its job in the ring as a stock dog, you want it to have the best range of motion as possible, as little tightness as possible. You want it to be very fluid in its movement. So I would certainly say before. When before is something you need to test while they're working with the animals in training. Some animals, again, treat it the day of the competition. Bingo, works great. Other animals treat after the competition and then helps them recover more rapidly and go forward. I'm either going to have to take a break. Tony, do you have something you can play for 30 seconds so I can let somebody in the door? There's somebody at the door. What do you got here that maybe we can play for 30 seconds or a minute? Do we have?
And so I was reading it, and MagnaWave, which is a huge therapy that I have invested a lot of money into because my horse needs it, uses KEAP. How freaking cool is that, guys? It is so cool. It's like a whole case study in here about how they went, from like $20,000 a month to $20 million thanks to Icon and KEAP. And honestly, seriously, so cool. Hi Aaron, this totally caught my attention because of course it's a horse. But this article, I can totally put my testimony next to this article with MagnaWave serving so many freaking people and helping, I'm gonna say it, predominantly women create their own businesses with the therapy. MagnaWave is so cool, and there's so many people who have been able to create amazing businesses, and that ripple effect from KEAP to MagnaWave to all the practitioners and therapy providers, to the horse owners, right? Like, it is so cool and so palpable. And you know what? I see it all the time in our business. I see it all the time in our clients' businesses. Like, that ripple effect is real. But the cool thing that I just wanted to mention is this is something that that I know of outside of the KEAP community. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, I know this, and I see it and I watch it happen all the time. And so to be able to connect those dots back to my favorite company in the entire world, KEAP, is just really stinking cool.
Oh, I'm back. Stinking cool. That was a great testimony that she shared with us. Kim asked the question, can multiple MagnaWave sessions daily cause dehydration? Does it depend on the intensity? Well, certainly the more you're massaging the muscle, which a more intense situation would be, you're going to be pushing potentially more moisture to the lymphatic system and so forth. We always recommend that you are doing plenty of water. You hydrate well after sessions. If you're doing multiple sessions a day, most certainly. It will lead to some potential dehydration, detoxification. All of that occurs. So you want to hydrate as much as possible. And if you're doing several sessions a day, I would do several glasses of water or bottles of water with the process. Okay. Can you take a moment to talk about Hydrowave? I can. Hydrowave is available for the practitioners on the back end of the website. It is basically a nano-sized particles of silver that attaches to the oxygen in the water. So when it's consumed or you use it as a topical spray, it can get into the bloodstream and help kill bacteria and keep things clean. If you're using it as a topical, doing the same thing. Silver was like one of the first antibiotics that we had. They use it on burn patients and open wounds to help keep the wounds clean. And so certainly to use that type of product to spray on an open wound. A lot of people use it for pink eye in their cattle to help clean up that situation and to disinfect that area or those types of areas. So there's a lot of different ways to use it on a rash, on whatever, rain rot, any of those types of situations with your animals. So if you want to learn some more, call your product specialist. But that's basically it. It's nano-sized particles of silver. And I say nano-sized because it's less than 1 part per million in size of silver, which means it won't leach. It won't leach to your organs. You've seen these situations where people drink a lot of colloidal silver, and all of a sudden they take on this blue hue or purple hue or whatever it may be, and we don't want that to be an issue. So the nano-sized particles of silver will pass through the system and be out of the body, and they don't leach to the organs of the body, but they're very effective as a disinfectant type of situation when used topically or if consumed. Let's see. Lisa, wow, okay. Any experience or testimonials with thyroid nodules? I'm sure there have been some discussions about, I know there have been discussions about thyroid issues and again, the circulation and the blood flow and how that can be aided. I don't have anything on the top of my head as far as nodules are concerned. I know that there have been, if you take away inflammation, and a nodule is inflammation in some fashion. So if you can, it's like a buildup, I would bet. Now, if we talk about this, when you have a horse that's got an arthritic type situation, you have a buildup of calcium around the joints. Well, if you can have the blood flow good, blood flow improved, blood oxygen improved, you won't have that buildup of calcium, which can prolong the onset of arthritis or slow down the results of this buildup and to get rid of the inflammation. So, again, it's when it is approached. The sooner you notice something, or the sooner that something can be there, you treat and you get the better result that you might be looking for. What's the protocol for treating allergies and sinus in humans? How often? Intensity? I've been turning it up to where I feel pressure, but it's tolerable. Had to take a binder when I first started to help me detox. Well, certainly we've noticed this when we treat a horse that is having head congestion or sinus types of situations. You can place the coil just at the head of the animal, the small animal, whatever it may be, and allow it to massage, to pulse through the area, which helps it helps the drainage, get things cleared out and things cleared away. And that would be the protocol. Simply put it at the head of the animal or the client and treat on a comfortable setting. Comfort is the key. It doesn't have to be real high. You don't have to feel it beating on it. Although if you're feeling a little bit, then it's getting into the sinuses of the area of the head that you're dealing with. So that would be the protocol. It doesn't have to be real high as far as settings are concerned. Comfort is always the key. Let's see. Issy asks, any experience or testimonials with a horse with squamous cell carcinoma of the bladder in a horse? Veterinarian, to begin with, to talk about that. You've got situations, there are devices today for the humans that are known to reduce tumors. They use them for glioblastoma brain tumors. We've had a lot of veterinarians and people in the equine space and the small animal space see tumor reduction when using the PEMF in the area in conjunction with chemo, and either before or after chemo. There's many different ways people are exploring the best way to utilize this and to do that. So what you want to do is to, number one, talk with your doctor and the veterinarian that you're dealing with, and deal with it accordingly and according to their medication guidelines. But there are devices that have been shown to help with the reduction of those tumors and the healing. It's not, I don't want to say healing, but the better control of the body in those types of situations. Can we get the article? I don't know which article you're referring to, but thank you for asking. Maybe if you make that clear that a little bit, at least for me, then Emily and the crew can help you out with that. Vivian, you're certainly welcome. I'm always glad to be here and in my own little way be able to answer the questions as best I can. And I've learned that my practitioners, or our practitioners, know a whole lot more today than what I think I do, and the doctors that are involved with us, and the people that we're developing relationships with for a lot of different things going on. Next year is going to be exciting. Again, thinking about MagnaCon, a couple new products are going to be introduced at MagnaCon, new docs coming, just a lot of stuff happening, and we just encourage you to join us and have a good time. So with that, we are basically almost out of time for all intents and purposes. Let me just make sure no one else is called. No. Okay. It really has. It's been so far a wonderful year, and a lot of trial, a lot of stuff going on with people with the COVID and all of that. And stay safe, be healthy, do what's best for you with regard to vaccinations and so forth. Always do what's best, so you can stay healthy and happy, so you can help your customers stay healthy and happy. So with that, I want to wish you a very happy Thanksgiving and have a joyous holiday with your family and friends. We'll be back here next week to spend some time with you. Certainly, again, as I always say, wave on to better health. Go all the way with MagnaWave. Have a great day, great weekend. We love you guys. Thanks a lot. We'll see you later.